Greetings, friends. So I'm making a video. I haven't made one for a while. Lots happened since I have. I managed to find a job and, put some money in my pocket. This guy's not quite paying me as he said he would, though. So just really hoping I don't have to teach someone a lesson. Last week I don't know what I'm dealing with exactly. I'm just super fatigued. Like narcolepsy style, chronic fatigue syndrome style. I don't know what it is. I mean, it's not with fibromyalgia symptoms, but just I could fall asleep really easily. And part of that might be my stomach is wrecked and it still hasn't recovered. I've been, nursing in probiotics and such, but it still isn't great. And on day 6 of cannabis break, got my dreams back. Pretty weird when you haven't really had them for a while. But I just want to talk about events going on in the world. They're starting to get, of course, very, very serious. Like I said, peace and security did not happen, of course. So things are escalating. Iran is putting the chokehold on the U.S. Strait of Hormuz closing was 13% of the world's oil. And now after these latest things, another 7% that comes out of the Red Sea is going to be closed off by the Houthis. That's 20% of the world's oil. Well over 1 billion barrels deficit. And this whole time fertilizer hasn't been getting out, sulfur hasn't been getting out. And the world's on fire. Russia's on fire. The United States is on fire. Canada's on fire. The whole freaking world is on fire. And for the most part, I still don't see anyone talking about it in my daily life. It's like everyone's just fucking oblivious. Yeah, this is kind of like the end, It's here. The end of the world that we knew for sure. And it's a lot of different factors right now going on, but it makes me quite sad. Even if this was my will, it's saddening, to see such waste, the inability for humans to hold to commitments, the inability of humans to act honorably, to, murder people simply to take, and the short-sightedness and just complete retardation of these leaders. I mean, how did these people ever become leaders and make such decisions? It was super obvious to me what the long-term consequences would be. Now, I've studied this issue for about 20 years. What would happen if Hormuz gets closed down? And so, yeah, it's pretty serious. And the commentary you might read in the paper, I mean, it's so slanted. And you read the comments by people, let's just turn Iran to glass. Well, what do you think happens? What do you think happens? We're talking of billions of people that are going to be starving. And out of that billions of people, hundreds of millions may very well die from hunger and from the violence that such chaos creates, And that's really a low estimate if this whole thing goes down. So, it's been a beautiful summer here in Eugene. Still have yet to make any real friends, and part of that's because of the bullshit, from my previous best friend and lover. And I realize my reputation and the way I say things, and truly my lack of, care about what most people think is important. So that's a little bit about what's been on my mind. I've been doing my own studies, and I just feel like I don't have enough time. There's just not enough time for me to understand fully what's going on. I see the bigger picture now, though. The bigger role of myself as a gardener, So these incarnations that occur periodically, and you read about it in the Gita, you read about it in various other works, it's a long-term creative project, what we call Earth and humanity. And obviously, as far as our recorded and known history, this is the biggest civilization, global civilization, that's ever existed here on this planet. That may or may not be true. And indeed, what is a planet? We don't even know. We don't really know very much. Once you start to see what reality is and how we manifest it, there really isn't much solid to go on. I still do use scientific method and deductionism and all this other stuff, to try to mentally make my way through this existence. By seeing the bigger picture and our role and understanding, well, it's sad, that so much is going to get destroyed and left fallow, it's a lot to carry, and there's a part of me that wants to sink into that sadness, and there's a part of me that sees the greatness of it, that this is just a game, that we came here to play. We inhabit these lives, these bodies, these vessels for this spark of consciousness, right? And consciousness never ceases. There's always going to be consciousness. And of course, through that consciousness, that the universe or God or however, whatever word you want to use to describe that, sees itself, sees its own play. And so, I accept myself for my own dark and destructive impulses. And yes, this is a long time in the making. Still here in Eugene, thinking, why am I here? It's a beautiful place. It has its real perks here compared to many of the places I've seen, including the other places in Oregon. There's a lot of beautiful places here in Oregon. But I'm not really feeling anything holding me here. And Every day it's like, do I go? Thought last night, do I go? And I'm owed like over $1,000, which I'm waiting to receive. But it's like, do I really care? You know, something that was in my mind over these last few months is, you know, been striving for my own self-sufficiency. And of course, that's not just the material, you know, bottom pyramid level of Maslow's, you know, physical security. It's the the other parts of Maslow's self-actualization, which is my whole reason to continue existing. Otherwise, I think, you know, there wasn't, I would have stopped a long time ago. This is a lot to hold, you know, a lot of weight. And, yeah. There's not many people like me that have done the things I've accomplished. And not of my own absolute doing, of course. It was simply the authority of the office, right? And the timing. Just prepare yourselves, you know. Enjoy what you have now. And know that every moment is precious, because our world is not staying the same after all this. I expect we'll see nuclear explosions here in the soon future. And now that China is getting the recognition that its satellites are, you know, what's allowed Iran to have such accuracy in his missiles, I suspect that we'll soon see a satellite war too. That could be really interesting. As far as fireworks go, I think I'd rather see them up there than down here. But that's not a limitation. I mean, obviously the infrastructure is going all over. And everything is suspect. Even that water break down in Los Angeles the other day. And you understand that the grapes of wrath, that these people who have such small understanding of the world are all very, very angry and upset and self-righteously want to wreck the system. There is no cohesiveness. There's no unity here. The only unity is the carrying of pitchforks. And yeah, I wish I was more smiles. But like I said, this fatigue of the last week has really been a lot for me. But you know, hermetic principles, there's always ups and downs. So I'll see you on the upside. Thanks for watching. Have a great weekend.